I was doing a show in LA, and when I finished, two guys came up to me and said to me that they'd like to speak to me. Prince had sent them, right, to
Yeah.
come and say it was his management company. He had sent them to come down and told them to make sure that they signed me. Right?
Oh, okay.
Hi, this is Junior Giscombe. Yes, I'm on his show. It's been a long time, but I'm on Joe's show. Musicians revealed. Watch it, see me, understand me. New single. Come on. How can you beat that? Take care.
My next guest is a truly special artist who was so influential when I got into radio. I got out of high school 2 months later. I was into radio, and 2 months before I graduated in radio, this man dropped a hugely successful debut album. Junior Giscombe joins us. It's been a few years since we last talked, and I'm awful excited to see you. We did it radio for all these years, but how you doing, my friend?
I'm very well, man. I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you for asking me to come on the program.
Yeah, I mean, you're always a great artist, and you still can sing, man. Yeah, it's true.
Thank you.
Because some of your contemporaries, I'm sure you've seen people who didn't take care of their voice as well, and you still put on a great show. How do you do it to keep it supple like that and can hit the notes?
Wow, that's good. I had I don't know, to be quite honest. I suppose what it is that like I never tried to sing out of the key, but I recorded in.
Oh, okay.
So everything that I go out and I do live, it's in the key that I recorded it in. So that way people are hearing the same sound, the same style, maybe not exact to what they bought on a record, obviously, because it's 40 years ago or 20 years ago or 10 years ago.
Right.
But like being in the same key gives you the same sound, as you know. So that pretty much, I think, is what it is that's kept me going and kept the voice going. It's not trying to go down lower, but to stick within that range and just keep that power going as you go along.
And obviously the fans are seeing and hearing the same thing because the comments, I'm sure you must see them saying, wow, this guy can really still sing. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I went to France a couple of weeks ago and came back and put up something on Facebook concerning one of the places that I played at. And it just went ballistic, with people talking about, my God, he's still got the voice. He still can do this, still that. Blah. Well, yeah.
Right. Now give me some more dates I could do my show, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, so you've been spending a lot of time out in France, right?
Yeah, I signed with a little company out there because I just wanted to do something completely different, especially after the passing of my daughter. I just didn't want to be in England and be trying to get back into that whole industry in the way that I was in it. So I just decided, you know what, let me just sign with a little company in France, put out a single, give me a chance to get out, refresh my mind, to be honest, and be able to play live in front of an audience, right? I just wanted to be able to get away from Britain for a while.
Okay.
So, I needed to, it's a bit like saying I needed to refresh.
Right.
And refresh, replenish everything that like I needed to. And France has been great for me in terms of being able to do that.
Do you go back and forth still?
Yeah, still going back and forth.
Right.
Which is great. Now after everything, now it's just work and going to Paris, Normandy, Lyon, Bordeaux, just playing in different places and just enjoying France.
Yeah. I had this like maybe 6 months ago, a jazz musician. He was the co-writer with Gil Scott-Heron, Brian Jackson.
Brian Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know him?
Yeah, I know Brian.
Oh yeah. So he moved from New York he's out your way now.
Yeah, he's in France.
Yeah. he loves it too.
Yeah, I think it's the whole thing of you don't feel so um, entrapped, and you can feel when you're in the States that I've got to be doing this, I've got to be doing that, I've got to be on this, I've got to be. Whereas when you come into Europe, and especially when you're going to France, your mindset isn't that way. So you know what you have to do, and you get on and do it, but you do it in a way that works for you, opposed to when you're in the States and even in England, you're working to other people's time frame and how they perceive it. And in France, it's how you perceive it. So that's the difference.
Do you ever play New Morning?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. All the things are coming to my head because I had a guess. I don't know if you run into Shriz out there. He's a saxophone player. He came on my show the night before he performed with your friend Omar at New Morning.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, New Morning is the place to play when you get to Paris. If I think all of us have done a couple of shows there. I have, and I love New Morning. I just love the atmosphere. And there's places you go, it doesn't have to be 10,000 people. You can get 500 people and you have such a vibe, which is what this place has, that everybody wants to play there. I think it's a bit like when people would do like jazz clubs in America, real small little clubs, and they became the place to go if you wanted to see an act because the acts wanted to play that club. And everybody would say like, yeah, but there's only 100 people that go there or 200 people in it. You're like, but there's something special about the vibe that you get. And I think that's pretty much what happened with me with New Morning. And there's just a vibe about the place. I love it.
And from what I see, you got a great band too. Is that your regular band or?
Yeah, I use a French band.
Okay.
Right. I use a French band called Echoes.
Okay.
And
yeah.
Echoes, pretty much a lot of artists that come through into France will use Echoes. They're like the #1 session band, if you like, right over there for a lot of R&B artists. So I've been working with them for nearly 10 years now. So we're good friends.
Yeah. Keep a good thing going, right?
Right. Why not?
Speaking of the new music you were talking about, you had released, I think it was 2024, standout single, Sweet Tender Love. Great video as well. You're having fun.
Thank you.
People can go to Junior Giscombe on YouTube and you can see it. What's that? First, let's talk about the song because what a great dance song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I during the COVID, I had got this song came through and I listened to the song because I was writing at the time, but I listened to the song and I kept going back to the song, writing my own thing. I kept going back to it because I loved the idea of the song and what it was saying. And then when we started to build on the demo from it and the guitars, and I've always loved guitars, and I've always loved the whole fact of putting a slight rock vibe to R&B, a bit like what the Isleys did in the early 70s with Who's That Lady and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Right. And that song just took me back. So I recorded it here in England and then sent it to France for them to do their mix on it and stuff. And then they sent it back and it was yay, nay, tweak this, tweak that.
Right.
Right. And then we came up with this track that came out last year. And I was just chuffed because it wasn't my song, but I think I did a good rendition for the song and made the song my own song, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
And the young lady, Milena, in the video with you?
Yes.
Is she a singer herself?
No, she's an actress.
Oh, okay.
She's a little actress, right?
Oh,
but
okay.
She's fabulous, a lovely little girl, lovely spirit. And I think she just made the video look so much fun.
Where did you film the video? Because my wife, she's from Montreal and she speaks French.
Oh, okay.
That's her first language. And I'm saying, it's got to be French. She says, no, not necessarily, but was it in France?
We did it in Normandy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did it in Normandy. I'm trying to remember the actual place. It will come. But we did it in Normandy. Is it Leech or is it L? No, Rouen. Rouen.
Okay.
Right. We did it in. But it was just fun to be able to, as I said, you know, that whole thing of wanting to be able to just set yourself free.
Yeah.
And that song did that for me.
And you incorporated the Soul Train line 2024, right? That was cool.
That was fun, man. Come on.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
Really, yeah. That was real fun as well. It's mad, isn't it? You do all of these different things, and then people say to you like, "Oh, you did a Soul Train line," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that?"
Yeah. Spoiler alert, it's toward the end. You got to watch the whole video.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So,
was fun.
yeah, go ahead.
No, just saying that was fun. Being able to do that at the end, you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, let's do this. I think it was Poland who, one of the guys from the record company said, "What about a Soul Train line?" And I was like,
Right.
"Get out of here. You know about Soul Train?" Like, "Oh,
Right.
Junior, please." You know? So it was fun.
Yeah. And speaking of, in the intro, I said, now I never asked you this. Is it Jai or G?
Jai.
Jai. Okay. My wife's name's G. And I was like, I just knew it was your album. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. But I became acquainted with you through the record pools, Get Up and Dance, Norman Giscombe Jr. And that was a great song. Yeah.
Well, that's what started the whole thing for me, to be
Right.
honest. Right?
Mhm.
Get Up and Dance, Hot Up and Heated became hits in France. Hence why my affiliation with France.
Okay.
I was on a small label called Pressure Records. And Pressure, unbeknown to me, put the record out in France.
Okay.
So the record became huge in France. I'd come to America. I was going to sign with a company, another small company in America called Firesign. And Firesign had put out Get Up and Dance. And it was #1 on the bubblers, just underneath I think it was on the Billboard charts back in the day. So we had a record that was about to break into the charts. I was in America, I was here, I was there, and I was thinking about whether or not I should sign for Firesign. I would have done an album for Firesign. But then I got a phone call from an A&R man at Mercury Records, who was in America at the time. Get Up and Dance was being played on on a British radio station, Capital Radio,
Okay.
by a guy called Greg Edwards, a DJ called Greg Edwards. So Greg was playing it. Record company heard it, found out that I was in America. The A&R man came over to America, made the phone call. He and I got together, sat down, had a chat. I didn't want to stay in America to make records because I didn't want to sound American. I wanted to sound English. I wanted it to have a distinctive sound. So I told him that, and he was up for the fight and up for the challenge like myself. So I came back home. I didn't sign with Firesign, but what made me laugh was Firesign, when Mama came out, Firesign put out a record called Junior Wants to Play. Hey, can you imagine? Right, on the basis of Mama used to say, it was Junior Wants to Play.
Wow.
Right, this little record did so well. I think it did about 300,000 copies in America. It was amazing.
Yeah. Early 20s, the album comes out, and the first single, you skyrocket. I mean, it's got to be old. Did you have any idea, or you just signed up for the ride and listened to, you got to do this promotion and everything?
Well, what happened for me was I signed and then decided to be a part of a band called Lynx.
Yeah, Lynx.
Going out on tour.
Right.
And I thought, right, I'll be a part of Lynx. Right. So I went out on tour with Lynx. But during the time of going out on tour with Lynx, Mama used to say it was breaking in America. So I would come back after we'd done like a week on the road. I'd come back and I'd go right into the record company. And it was everybody like patting you on your back, you know, hey man, you sold 100,000 in Chicago. You sold 200,000. They were telling me figures that were like difficult to comprehend. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm doing BVs for Lynx. I'm now a part of a band called Lynx, and here you are telling me as a solo artist, you're out selling the band you're in. You know,
Right.
it was like it was difficult to kind of get your head around
Yeah.
until the spring of '82 when I went to America and I did Soul Train.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just trying to remember on the bill was New Edition and Guy.
Oh, wow.
Three of us were recording at the same time. But what got me was the fact that everybody went crazy for Mama Used to Say. So when I got there,
Yeah.
the guy, the band guy, everybody was like, "Oh man, I gotta meet you. I gotta." And I was like, "Mate, I've just bought your albums. I've got all."
Yeah, right.
I was a big fan,
Right.
and they just put out their first album, Guy, and Boys to Men were doing the
Oh, you mean New Edition?
New Edition. Sorry,
Right.
Boys
Yeah.
to Men. New Edition is This Love. You know, they
Oh,
just
okay.
that like the transition where they were going from the kids to becoming a proper group. So it was nice to meet them. It was nice to meet Guy. As I went through, it was like I'm meeting everybody from a Barry White to Earth, Wind and Fire to Grover Washington to Chuck Mangione to. It was like I'm meeting everybody from jazz, R&B, pop, and it was my first promotional tour was just amazing, just an amazing moment for me because it was like everywhere I went, you'd have these girls at the airport, man, and I remember coming through in Chicago,
Right.
and there was these, I mean, I don't know, a couple of hundred girls at the airport, and I'm walking through, but I'm looking behind me to see who it is that was on the plane that these people were there for.
Right.
And then I saw these banners with Junior on it, and
Right.
Mama Used to Say, and I was like, oh my gosh. And
Wow.
then it really was that kind of thing. I couldn't take it all in, if you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It was just a wow moment, real wow moment for me.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I joke with my wife that when I first got into radio, I'd get the call. I actually dated one of my listeners when I was like 19 to 21. I said, I don't get those calls anymore. And not on the level you were, but I was just like saying, yeah, it was a different time.
It was a strange moment because during the period of time of I remember meeting Rick James, right? I was in LA and I met Rick James at what was it called? I think it was called a Hollywood Hotel. And we were all staying there, myself, Rick James, and the OJs, where I first met them. And I was speaking to Rick, and Rick said to me, when you come back, right, you will not like women. And I looked at him and I'm 24. I'm like, you're crazy, mate. What? I'm looking, you're mad. When I got back, I understood exactly what he meant. I'd not met American women were so aggressive, but it took me back. No way. I did not realize, right, how upfront they were. English girls are a lot more reserved.
Right.
And I've been used to that. So coming to America and having women push themselves up on you and be so frontal about things was a shock. It was a shock, and it took me back. So by the time I met up with Rick, he said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing all right, mate. But I know what you're saying. I get it,
Yeah. Yeah, he gave you that wisdom, right?
Oh, man, it was so good. And I think, again, within that 6 weeks, everybody was giving me words of wisdom, making me aware of what I was in, right? I remember when I met Stevie and Stevie asked, do you own your rights to your music? And I'm like, at that time, I had no idea about owning rights to music. I just wanted to make music.
Right.
But then Stevie showed me, well, no, you need to do this. And Aretha Franklin told me about publishing. You need to make sure of your publishing. And Teddy Pendergrass did the same thing as well. Everybody was just so warm. And so in Britain, we didn't have that. Because in Britain, was I was one of the first. Billy Ocean had started the whole thing.
Right.
And Maxine Nightingale, who had a hit before as well. And then Billy had a hit as well. And Ruby Turner had a hit. Those were the three really that I followed on from. And I think with everybody, they were just so willing to give me information, so willing to show me the door that I should go through. And I really, really 100% appreciated everybody that I'd met during that very first. I remember doing a TV show, and Michael Wycroft, I know he's passed now, God rest his soul, but Michael was in the audience while I was doing my rehearsal and listened and came backstage, and he said, "Man, you're not singing that song right." And I thought to myself, what are you talking about? It's my song. I wrote this song.
Right.
I'm not singing it right. What are you on? So he sat around the piano, and he and I went through it, and I got what he was saying. I wasn't using my voice to my full potential, right? And I think that was nerves why I wasn't doing that. But when working with him just backstage, right, we were there for about a good half an hour, singing the song, going through the various key changes and stuff like this. And Michael was just fantastic. He taught me how to sing my song. And I'm so grateful to him. Yeah, I'm grateful to Michael. He showed me the best way to approach what I'd done. And Stevie Wonder did the same thing, and Rick did the same. I was just incredibly fortunate to have met everybody at a particular time and stage in their lives, that they were all the two tons of funds. The girls were fantastic,
Right.
They really were. And Sylvester was brilliant.
Oh yeah, great singer. Yeah.
Luther as well. Luther would be on my case about the fact that, why are you singing so high, man? You need to come down. And I'm going to write you a song. I'm like, oh, please do,
Yeah.
It was that kind of thing where I really was the junior coming into this senior arena. And it was eye-opening. It was, I think, looking back, I would say it was one of the best times of my career. Not actually knowing anything, right? But coming in and having so many people wanting to share their knowledge with me. That was a beautiful thing, Joe.
Yeah. And it's encouraging. You mentioned so much kindness from established artists, many years, just to say, hey, this to help you out. So
I just thought it was fantastic because as I said, there wasn't any black artists in Britain other than myself at the time who had broken through in America in that. And to be going and doing these various different TV programs and meeting all of these artists, and they would sit me down, they would talk to me about various things and open my eyes about publishing. In the end, I own my own publishing. Talk to me about, perpetuity and stuff, like what it means and what you need to do to try and get back your catalog and get back. Everybody was just so open. I didn't meet an artist during that period of my career who wasn't willing to share. And that was a beautiful thing. It made me come back to England and be so open, wanting to share with every artist I came into contact.
Yeah, and you had some great affiliations with artists from England, and Top of the Pops you did.
Yeah.
Is that after the US tour? Promo tour? Yeah.
I did Top of the Pops before I went to the States, and then came back and was doing Top of the Pops all the time, pretty much.
Right. And Razzmatazz, that show was where was that from? That was from the UK, right?
Yeah, Razzmatazz is here in the UK, was in the UK.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, all the how were the members of Lynx with all your success? How did that go down?
Well, Links, it's a very funny thing. I'm working with David Grant as we speak now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So obviously,
This goes to show.
yeah.
No, I think Lynx became a big band in Europe, in especially, well, in England, they were huge. At the time, they were the number one band in the country, right? You know, so we had gone out on tour and we were playing like 2 nights down at the Dominion. Sorry, we was playing a week at the Dominion, and it was 2 shows, right, down there. So like what, 4,000, maybe 4,000, 8,000 a night, most probably at that time, right? You know, we were killing it as a band. So when we came off the road, which was just before Christmas, Mama was breaking big. So the band was hearing it, you know, people in the band who had played on the project as well,
Okay.
right? On my project as well. They were hearing that the record was breaking. So Links were really cool because when I was making the album, I was on the road with Links. So what we would do is Bob and myself, who arranged and produced it.
Yeah, Bob Carter. Yeah.
That's right. Me and
Yeah.
Bob, we would go off. Right, we'd do rehearsals with the band, and then we'd go off and we'd do rehearsals with the album. Right?
An undercover record.
With one of them. So we recorded when I got off the road. We recorded the Jai in 3 weeks. We had 3 weeks, and we recorded the whole album in 3 weeks. Wow. Right, which was brilliant because we rehearsed it going all the way through the tour. So when it came to recording it, we used a lot of the players from the band Links. So when it came to playing it, everybody knew. So it was really simple. We could do maybe 2 or 3 tracks in a day, right? Because we'd rehearsed it. We knew exactly what we wanted to do. And Bob and I would be left alone to kind of like structure it once we put down the backing tracks, you know? So it was, again, a really good time because it's like, you know, I've not made an album in 3 weeks ever since.
Yeah, that's true. They say it's easier, but I guess it's not.
It ain't easy.
Yeah, it ain't easy, right? Wow. Hey, you know, you put out one of my all-time favorite B-sides, In Words.
Oh,
B-side at Too Late. And I love that 12-inch. I got the 12. It was so thin, the paper thing. You pull out the vinyl, it would stick to
it sticks to the
vinyl
baby.
come out. Yeah, yeah. What was the intention with that?
That was the record company.
Okay,
right? I had nothing to do with that. But I thought, why have you done that? Why have you said that it sticks? I don't understand. But I recorded Mummy Used to Say and In Words at the same time.
Okay.
I wanted In Words out. The record company wanted Mama and said that, like, right, we're going to prove to you that Mama is the track. All right, you proved it to me, but I still love In Words.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great do you do it live In Words?
No, but what I'm doing is next year is my 45th year in this business.
Wow.
So I intend to go out on the road and do the Jai album. So
oh yeah.
Everything that's connected to the Jai album. So In Words will be, when I go out next year, I'll be doing In Words, which is one I have not done in years. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
You got to come out here.
I want to.
Yeah.
I would love to. I've not had any promoters hit me up yet and say, Junior, we want you to come. So after this, I hope they do.
Yeah, that's right. And you got a friend with your Minneapolis friend, a mutual friend, Monte Moir, who you reunited for a radio special recently. But first, before we get into what you did with Monte recently, how did you two become affiliated and become such great friends and work together?
I was playing a date in a place called Hitchin in just outside of London.
Okay.
And when I got to the gig, I was told that the Time would be opening act. And because I had just bought the album, right, the Time album, the first album, I was just in awe. I couldn't wait to meet them and talk to them and whatever else. And then when I was there, I heard that they'd cancelled, right? So they for whatever reason, something must have been happening in America for them, but they didn't manage to come. But years on, I wanted to make an album which was a sophisticated street album. I wanted to make something different. I wanted to do something completely left to center, not down the same route as I'd been going. And Monte's name came up as one of the producers. And I just thought, you know what, right? I'd like to do this. I'd like to work with Monte, right? So they made a phone call to him, the record company. He was up for it. And we first met when I came over to Minneapolis.
Okay.
And Monte started taking me around. And I think Monte did what I would have done, which is get to know the person you're going to work with.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so instead of just diving in and starting to write songs, we spent time chatting, finding out about one another's background, right? Talking about what England was like in comparison to what Minneapolis was like. Because when I went there, it was like the chill factor was incredible. The place is cold.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Minneapolis,
Notorious. Yeah.
oh man, in the winter it's freezing. But I loved the lakes. I started to love everything about Minneapolis. Still is my favorite city in America, Minneapolis.
Wow.
Yeah, it still is.
Yeah, great town. Yeah.
I just loved the whole vibe of the place and the way that the musicians interact and the way that they help one another. You know, the younger kids coming in. And, you know, they used to have a session thing down at Creation where young kids would come and they'd play their music and you could buy the song off of them and stuff like this, right?
Oh.
Or you can help them to get a record deal. This was what they were doing. And we hadn't had anything like that in the UK. So going to Minneapolis, it must have been about 2 months in Minneapolis. But being in Minneapolis really taught me about being part of a community of musicians, right? Young musicians who were coming up, had great ideas, right? Wanted to share, wanted knowledge from us, right?
Right. Yeah.
And Steve Weiss, who was the engineer, was just a wonderful, wonderful
Yeah. I
dude.
was going to ask you about him. Yeah. He was the
Yeah,
guy, right? Yeah.
Steve was the guy, you know what I mean, right? The stuff that he did with Jam and Lewis, and then what he was doing with the time, and then what he was doing with Monte. He was just able to tap into you as an engineer. Again, teaching me about working with somebody else who has ears and who has a great knowledge of sound, right? And weight of sound. You know, some people, you put a bass on and it's just the bass. But Steve seemed to know the kind of kilohertz that you need to have in the bass so that
Wow.
when it's played, it kicks you in the stomach, do you know? Right?
Mhm.
Opposed to knocking on the door.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, and back in those days in the UK, they used to mix on oratones. I don't know, do you remember oratones? The little very small speakers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Remember
Okay.
them?
Yeah. Yeah. Like you put him on a desk or something.
Yeah, you used to
Right.
put them on top of a desk, little
Right.
small speakers. But the reason they did that was because back in England at that time, everything was medium wave, right? So the frequency was completely different. And working with Monte and Steve, again, taught me, right, how to listen when I'm because if you can imagine, you've done all of this recording and whatever else, and it's going to go in a cassette, which is like, you know, an eighth, 1/8,
Yeah.
and all of that sound on that small piece of tape. So you then started to learn that, like, you were losing sound, right? As much as you built this great sound, it's going on a cassette, and the cassette would compress it so much that you would lose things.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that when I started, but working with Monte and that's like a good 5 years, 6 years on from Mama, but
Mhm.
working with them again gave me insight into how to mix for oratones. What are you after? What are you looking for? Again, as I said, because everything was medium wave, and when I came to America, everything was FM.
Mm.
So again, frequencies were different. Well,
Did
you
you?
know,
Yeah. Did you run into Prince while you were out there?
yeah, I'll give you a joke with Prince. I met Prince first in England. He
Oh,
had come
wow.
over. I was doing a PA at a little club called Heavens, and this guy was standing up on the wall, and I looked at him like, I know this kid, I know this, right? So he's standing there, and I went up, and I said to him, "You're Prince," and he never said anything. He didn't even say yes. He just stood there, right? So I said, "Man, I've got the first album, right?" I said, "I've got the first album, right? And I love For You, you know, that track For You." I just said to him, "I love that track," right? And we started to talk music.
Right.
We did about 5-10 minutes, and then I had to go and do the show. So I went and I did my show. I came off and he was gone. So I didn't think anything of it. When Mama came out, I was doing a show in LA. And when I finished, two guys came up to me and said to me that they'd like to speak to me. Prince had sent them, right, to come and say, it was his management company. He had sent them to come down and told them to make sure that they signed me. Right?
Oh, okay. Oh, to Paisley Park? No, he didn't.
It would have been Paisley. I think it would have been Paisley Park. It would have been Paisley Park.
Or maybe they were just like informative stage for that. Yeah, right.
Most probably at that stage, but he was like, make sure you sign him. And I was like, oh, wow, this guy, you know.
Wow. He thought that highly of you. That's high praise. Yeah.
Come on. I was like really, really chuffed at that, you know, that he had sent them to come down. I didn't sign, mind you, but he sent them to come down.
How difficult would that have been to get out of your record deal with the present record deal?
Man, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine to have tried to get out of that deal at that time, right? And to sign with Prince's label and with what he was starting at that time.
Right.
Right. I doubt the record company would have never let go. They were making too much money at the time from me, so I don't think they would have ever let go.
Wow. Yeah. You could have been the first artist on Paisley Park Records.
Could have been.
Yeah.
At
least Prince wanted you.
Well, this is the thing. It wasn't like if management said they wanted me. Management made it clear that he said.
Yeah. Obviously, it was the truth.
Yeah. You know, they came down and they made it quite clear, right? That, you know, Prince said to us that we've got to make sure. They told me you've got to make sure that you sign him, right? And I was there, I'm thinking like, wow, I hadn't spoken to that guy for more than 10 minutes. He must have watched the show and then split, you know?
Yeah.
Right? But, yeah, he was fantastic. Prince was great.
Yeah, that was the icebreaker, talking about music, and then
that was it. Bah.
You were in his mind. That's great. Yeah. Wanted to also ask you about, you know, I'm also a big Paul Weller fan who you collaborated with. The Council Collective. And do you still hear from Paul? I know he's got a new record. He's always working, but
he's always working, Paul.
Yeah.
Every now and again we kind of hook up. Last time I saw him was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now. Right. But I know he worked with Omar recently on a track for his new album.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Paul's still working. Paul is Paul, you know, he's something else. That's all I'm going to say. He's something else.
And he doesn't look back too much in the past, right?
That's the thing. I think if you know him, right, you realize that, like, you know, he's like myself in that regard. It's about moving forward, and you don't keep looking back and staying in the past, if you get what I'm saying. He's a bit like me, always wanting to move forward, always looking for the next challenge. Want to make a new record, but I want to make it, and I'm not sure yet how. I'm not sure. Well, not in terms of how, but what you want to say. Yeah, you know. And Paul's a lot like that. So is Billy Braggs, who is also.
Oh yeah. You also work with him. Yeah.
Yeah, three of us together pretty much started Red Wedge, which was the political end of what we were doing, trying to make young people aware of the fact of the politics within their areas. And we went out on tour with a good few. Every city we went to, we made sure that, like, you know, the hit band of that city would play that night. So when we got to Manchester, it was the Smiths, Jimmy Marr,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
those guys. And then when we got to, I think it was Newcastle, we had another band that was on Polygram at the time, right? And they played. And then we had Big Country on another show. Each city, ABC, a band called ABC, they came from Sheffield, and we had them on when we got to Sheffield. So it was that kind of thing when we went out on the road with Red Wedge. It was a very interesting time.
Yeah. A lot of great music for the buck, I guess. Those
Very much
concerts. Yeah.
so.
And for good cause. Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much.
I got our viewers and our listeners. I want to encourage them to also another recommendation on YouTube. When Junior Giscombe was on Jules Holland, and you performed Mama Used to Say with the huge big band and everything.
Hey.
You had Michael Bublé smiling and grooving, and wow. And that's proof that you still are an amazing performer. And how did specifically when you broke it down, I got a little quiet and you were doing the vocals there, and Jules had the look, he was just admiring you, like, he was in his zone of being a fan. What I thought.
I think, and it's funny, right? Jules and I met, God did. I did a TV program in England called The Tube.
Oh, okay. I remember. Yeah.
That was back in 83, 82, 83. And Paula Yates. I met the both of them at that period of time. And we worked together for a short moment. And after that, we never saw one another again. I'd see him on TV and and then I got a phone call from the producer of the show. And when I went down, what should I say? I spoke to them before the show, and I spoke to Jules before the show, and what we were trying, and what we wanted to do, and what I wanted to do. And they said it was a big band. So I said, oh, brilliant. You got the horns and everything. And like, yeah, we got everything, June. Don't worry about it. We're going to do it in a particular style. They sent me the backing track. And I just thought, this is fantastic. It's like, it was just big, massive. And I love this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So we actually rehearsed the track on the night that we recorded it.
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't like if I knew what was going to happen. We just 1, 2, 3, let's go, bosh, and we just did it. I loved it.
Oh yeah, that's a highlight of your career. I love that. Yeah, and you could see the people in the crowd. I mean, they were just.
Oh man.
I mean, you got how many artists? A limited artists have a signature song. I know. I mean, you have a whole catalog, but that's your stairway to heaven. You got to play at every concert, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can't really do a gig, right, without doing Mama Used to Say.
Right.
There's another song in England, right? If I don't do a song called Morning Will Come. Mm-hmm. If I don't do Morning Will Come, people go mad. It's like, well, hold on a minute now. Right? You did Mama, where's Morning? What's going on?
Do the promoters, do they send you a request list that you got to do these songs in the set? Or?
Some places do. Some places.
Okay.
When I go to France, some of the places in France, there's songs like Stone Lover, which I never do. And they want the Stone Lover. And I'm like, get out of here. And then you do it. And you think, oh my gosh, maybe I should keep this in the show. Right? But it's certain places like certain songs more than they do other songs. Like in Lyon, it's Get Up and Dance, Hot Up and Heated has to be done. Right? And if I do New Morning, has to be done, right? Those two songs, as much as Mama and Morning Will Come, right? But you start to know the different areas and the songs that they want you to sing.
And you've written some great ballads. Baby, I Want You Back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just what a great songwriter. I mean, you've given songs to other artists, and do you still put your songs out there for other artists to record, or you keep them close to you?
No. I'm still open to giving out tracks. Since the passing of Janique, I've not been as prolific in terms of writing as I was. And I know that because of the fact that, I know that I've been holding back. I want to say things, but I think it's like saying the climate isn't right yet. So you write them and you put them down.
Right.
Right. So I've done a lot of that, and I've had a lot of different artists ask for songs, right? And I've been like, yeah, but I haven't actually got round to it. Do you get what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like,
Yeah.
it's still there, but I've just kind of like, it's taken me time to get back into the swing of writing, performing, recording, and just keeping it rolling in that way, you know. But I'll get back.
Yeah, and we were talking off air, but Junior's referring to Janique, his daughter who passed away at a young age, and also your wife before that, also young, and so you've persevered, but unimaginable what you've gone through
I
and what
think
they went through. Yeah.
what they went through, I think it's more. I've never really looked at it that like I've done anything. What I did was I was there for both.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure that my career did not stop me from doing what I felt was right, which was to be with them and to spend that time. So if it meant not recording, which it did mean not recording, and it did mean not playing live and doing all of that for a good few years, but at the same time as saying all of that, right? People were still asking for interviews, which I was doing. People were still asking for various things from me, which I could do. I just had to be with both. I had to make sure of both. We had carers, but as much as there was carers in, I was still pretty much there all the time with both.
Right.
And I'm really, to be honest, I'm really, really pleased that I did spend that time with both of them.
And Janique pushed you to record, release Everything Set, right?
Yeah, it was her.
Yeah.
She was the inspiration behind that. She kept telling me and saying about the fact of, why don't you do a reggae album?
Okay. Yeah.
You're always in Jamaica,
Right.
right? And you know everybody in Jamaica, right? Why don't you do it? And I'd be like, oh, please, I'm not going to do that. I like going to Jamaica and nobody knows me. Yeah,
Right.
but that's what you think, Dad. They know you.
Yeah. I mean, that's your roots, Bob Marley,
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
home before it's my home. So I decided when she kept on, and we went to Jamaica one year and I took the whole family down. I'd gotten in contact with a guy called Wayne Wonder, and Wayne put me on to another Wayne, and my cousin over here in England knew Luciano, so they got hold of Lucci. And
Richard Blackwood, right?
right,
Yeah.
but we did Luciano, right?
Okay.
Luciano was the messenger. He's the prophet, basically. Jamaican artist, absolutely brilliant. And I got in contact. We spoke. I was in Jamaica. We went to a studio in Jamaica and we cut Mama Used to Say. And I did a video for it. We put the video up and the whole thing just exploded. Reggae fraternity went absolutely mad for it. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you've released so much music, and you're not afraid. You're looking ahead, but you're still doing things that you love growing up. I remember you talking to Donnie Simpson years ago, watching that about the pirate radio stations driving around in London, right?
Yeah.
Does that still exist?
Yeah, they still exist. But
Okay.
obviously you're not in the same way, but there's still like, oh God, Starpoint, My Soul, who else is there? Solar Radio, all of these radio stations who've been around for the last like 30 years, they've just upgraded, right?
Yeah.
And they're still there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Top radio. They're there. Pirate radio in the UK will not die. It can't die because it's the heritage. None of the radio stations and commercial radio stations truly play R&B. They
Okay.
play a form of R&B which is more commercial, more, I would say, watered down. Whereas those stations, the pirate stations, are still playing. What was the other one I heard the other day? Shantae. Oh, what was her name? But
Shantae Moore.
no, not Shantae Moore. There's another one.
Oh, okay.
Shantae Savage.
Okay.
Right. Again, brand new music, different vibe, but they're on it. The pirate
okay.
stations are on it, and the pirate stations are still able to break artists more so within the what would you say? More so within, it's a small area, and
Right.
it may seem like a very small market, but that artist that they've broken can come over and play maybe to 2,000 people.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe in the States or in wherever they're coming from, they'd be lucky to play to 100. Do you get what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
nobody's
Yeah.
playing their
Exactly.
record, nobody knows who they are.
Hmm.
In England, completely different. I remember when Frankie Beverly and Mays came to England for the first time, and they played a place called Hammersmith Odeon,
Mm.
and they played for 6 nights. They never had a hit record, right? So there wasn't any record that was a hit why they could play for 6 nights, but their music was being played on pirate radio.
And that carried it. Wow.
And that carried it all the way. And what really made me laugh was that the record that was at #1 in the charts,
Uh-huh.
the act at the time couldn't sell out one night. And here's this great, and they got #1 in the charts, and they couldn't sell out one night. And here's this band, never been in any of the charts, but they sold out 6 nights, right? You know, so that was the beginning of my love affair with Mays and Frankie Beverly.
And another man who just passed away. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not too long ago. Yeah.
yeah, great,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. We're close friends with Chris Jasper, and another
Another great.
he would come to our studio before the pandemic every year. He'd record like an album a year out of his house.
Yeah.
Always bring 2 copies. We'd spend like 4 hours on the air.
Oh,
When we finally did an interview last summer, I'm glad we did, but it was like this. And then he got sick, and nobody knew he was ill. And
I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know. And we're friends with his son. His son actually went to the school where our station broadcasts out of Fairfield University. So yeah, great guy. And you mentioned the Isley Brothers. So
yeah,
great.
I was a big fan, big fan of the Isley Brothers, because it was like when they put out the 3+3 album,
Mm-hmm.
right? That to me was such a turn. It was a bit like when Sly put out "There's a Riot Going On."
Right,
You know?
right, yeah.
There were certain albums that just changed the whole face of everything, and I think the Isleys did that with 3+3, and Sly did that with "There's a Riot Going On." P-Funk did it with Chocolate City. You know,
Yeah.
your higher players did it as well when they did Honey and all that kind of stuff back then, right? So all of these bands were coming out of America. Gil Scott Heroin was saying this, and this one was, but it was such a, I think during that whole period of the mid-70s going into the early 80s, Curtis Mayfield and what Curtis was doing at the time as well, there was such a flow. It was just flowing of great music, great artists, do you know? Right?
Yeah.
And if you were a kid growing up at that time, which I was influenced by all of those artists. You know, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, you name it. It was just, the music was just of such a caliber, right? That you were just drawn. It's like, for me, it was like I was being drawn in, you know, right? To all of this good stuff.
Did you buy a lot of records as a kid?
Yeah, I must have over
A little too much.
Oh man, I've got a warehouse, right, where I put my music.
Right.
I like to store it up because it's like, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15,000 albums.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I used to, as a kid, as soon as I got paid, I was down at the record shop, and that would be it. My money would go on the record shop, and it would be my then girlfriend, right, who would be taking me out. I never had any money.
Yeah. What was the first record? Do you remember the first record you ever bought?
The very first single I ever bought, right, was let's get it right now, Junior. You really got me going. You got me so I can't sleep at night. The Kinks.
Wow. Hey, good choice.
Yeah, that was my first record in terms of single that I bought was the Kinks, and my first album that I bought was Grover Washington's Inner City Blues.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, you had some amazing choices back then.
Yeah,
You know, my first, I don't remember my first album. I remember my parents had Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life, which I
yeah,
listen
like,
all the time. But the first one I bought was Kung Fu Fighting, Carl
oh,
Douglas. So,
everybody was kung fu
right,
fighting.
right. Yeah.
Whoop.
Yeah. So it was
Love
a
it.
hit for at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that track. I think it was a hit everywhere in the world. That was a huge record. Kung
Right,
Fu
right.
Fighting.
You
Brilliant.
know, before we let you go and direct people to your website, which will have all the links in our descriptions
Thank
and
you.
everything, I wanted to ask you a story, amazing story, how you got into the Beverly Hills soundtrack and affiliate with Eddie Murphy. I couldn't believe when I heard, I forget where I heard it, but I don't know if you wanted to give a
Yeah,
condensed version of that. That's amazing.
I was in a hotel. I think we must have been in Texas. I think it was Texas, and the record company had brought in because I wanted some big speakers. So they got me some big speakers, and it was in the room. And I just done the second album, right? And the single of the second album, Communication Breakdown, was about to
Mhm.
come out. So I was over to do promotion. I found out that Eddie Murphy was staying in the room underneath, right?
Wow.
Directly underneath my room. So what I did is the early morning, I was there for 2 days. So in the morning, I would put on the album, turn it up loud as I could, stomp on the floor, right? Carry on like if I'm done. I just wanted him to come upstairs and get mad so that I
Right.
could meet him,
Yeah.
right? But for 2 days, nothing at all. The hotel didn't complain about the noise. Nobody complained. No Eddie Murphy. So I thought, you know what? Right, I got a copy of the album. I went downstairs and I pushed it underneath his door. Went off, went to New York, had 3 days in New York, and then came back to England. And when I arrived back in England, I got a phone call from the record company, and the A&R man said to me, Junior, some guy called Eddie Murphy's making a movie and has asked if you could do a song for the movie. So I knew that like they had no idea who Eddie Murphy was. From your saying to me, some guy called Eddie Murphy.
Right. Yeah.
And in England, we didn't have anything that would show Eddie Murphy. So the people in England didn't really know who Eddie Murphy was.
Mhm.
So I did on my 8-track. I had an 8-track at that time, right? Fostex 8-track at home in my
Yeah.
bedroom.
Right.
So I started to write this song. And I got the guitarist who used to play with the Gap Band, right, to come and play guitar for me. So I did this 8-track demo. I was really
Was that
proud.
Robert Wilson?
No, no, no.
Oh,
This was
okay.
Glenn Nightingale,
Oh, okay. Okay.
right? So Glenn, right, played on it. I was so chuffed. It sounded really good, you know, when I finished it. So I sent the demo to the record company because I had 2 days to do this tune. So I sent it to the record company. The record company sent it to Paramount. And Paramount put the demo in the film. So that was one of my highlights.
On the 8-track.
On 8-track. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Right.
Wow.
And then when it came to actually recording the thing properly, Stevie Wonder was over in England. And I had met Stevie before in America, right? So I asked him if he would play drums, and he was like, I've never done a drum session, man. So I'd like, get out. And said, I got Stevie to do drums on Do You Really Want My Love? It was his first, as he said, his first session, drum session,
Right. Wow.
right? It was brilliant, man, right? The whole thing of pushing it under his door, never getting a chance to meet him to say hi or whatever else, right? And then hearing that he rang and said that he wanted the track in the film. He wanted me to write something for the film.
Do you
That's
meet him afterwards? Did you meet him?
No, up to this
Okay.
day, I've never
Right.
met Eddie.
Okay.
Never.
When you do the Jai tour, you gotta. I think he's out in California still. So
Oh, if he's
yeah,
out in California when we do the Dry Tour, I
yeah,
will make sure that I go to him and meet
yeah.
him.
You
I'm
got a
not
lot
gonna
of
wait.
cities you can hit up on the coast there.
Exactly.
Right,
You
right.
know, it's a bit like the same thing with Pharrell.
Mm.
Pharrell did what was it? The basketball game. He had to put music together for the
Oh
basketball.
yeah.
I can't remember what they say.
Yeah, I'm not a games player like that, but I know what you're talking about. It comes out every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pharrell did the music for it one year and put in Mama Used to Say.
Mhm.
And I had my niece and nephews would ring me and be like, "Do you know that Pharrell's put you in this? Pharrell's got you in this." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, but it's Pharrell." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm Junior. So tell me
Yeah.
again, what's
Yeah.
going on?" He's put me. I didn't put him.
Right. Yeah. You put him into place.
Of course, you
Yeah.
know, saying, "Hey," but it's been such a. I've got to be honest, Joe. It's been a lovely journey thus far. My
Yeah.
career has been fantastic. I've met some wonderful people, been able to make great music and have it played in different places. And I just, I'm still giving thanks, put it that way. And sometimes I still pinch myself. I know that might sound stupid because it's been 40 odd years that I've been doing this,
Mhm.
but I just feel so fortunate when you look at the fact of how many other artists who have came out at the same time and are not here now and are
Yeah.
not, you know, either they've
Yeah.
passed or they're not making music anymore
Mhm.
or whatever reasons. And to be able to have stood back concerning my career and being able to look after both of those women that were very, important to my life
Right.
and still come out of that and still be able to play, still be able to write, still be able to, I pinch myself. I'm really fortunate.
Yeah. We're looking forward to, I know you got a couple albums right up here.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we direct we'll have all the links in our description, juniorgiscombe.co.uk. That's the
Yeah.
best spot. Yeah,
So
we'll have a direct link to it.
yeah, Junior Giscombe dot is it dot yeah dot uk.
Right.
Junior Giscombe dot co dot
Yeah.
uk.
And pick up the new single,
Yeah, please, please.
Sweet Tender Love. Check
That's
out the
the one.
video.
That's right.
And we're looking forward to whatever comes out, these upcoming years.
Well, Joe, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man, it's been great. I mean, from the heart, all these years, a huge fan, and glad we got to talk in this medium. So,
So am I.
yeah, and meet when you come out here for a tour for the album.
Well, what I'll do, no, I'll make sure we'll stay in contact, and once dates are put in place, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'm in upstate New York, but
Yeah.
we'll travel for Junior. Yeah,
Oh, thank you. Thank
yeah.
you.
Okay, man. Much love to you, Junior.
You too, Joe.
All right. Thanks, Junior Giscombe.
All the best.